and welcome to the Celestial Tea Podcast.
I'm Love.
And I'm Tylen.
And we're two Los Angeles-based astrologers and witches serving up the cosmic tea about your favorite celebrities, musicians, and artists.
As always, if you enjoy our hot takes and breakdowns, please leave us a 5-star review wherever you stream, share with your friends and fam, and follow us on all the socials.
So if you're a pop culture baddie, tune in, get your cup of tea, and get ready to sip from the stars. Hello.
Hey.
Welcome to another episode of the Celestial Tea. The tea is personal this time. And celestial. Yeah, we just decided to do like a little like Astro check-in, right? Like we'll probably be doing these regularly, like what's up in the stars? What's up with the stars? Why am I angry?
Yes.
Why am I struggling? Why am I suffering? Why am I feeling really excited to do something, right? Like, so we wanted to we have a lot of big transits in 2025. I'm sure if you're on any kind of astrology, anything you heard at the beginning of the year, all the planets will be in new signs. It's going to be like a new paradigm, a new earth, all these different things. And I feel like a lot of people are really going through it. They're like, I have like so many clients being like, what is going on? Like, can you tell me what's going on in the sky? Is this why I'm feeling this or whatever? A lot of people have been feeling like stuck. A lot of people have been feeling lost. Like, they're just, like, the sense of direction has changed. Mm-hmm. And I feel like a lot of it is because of these new energies that we're getting acclimated to.
Yes.
So we wanted to talk about sort of, like, the end of the year. The next quarter, if you will. And a little bit into 2026.
Well, really more of, like, the eclipse season that we're going to get into. And then we're going to layer that with some of these big transits.
Yes. And some of them are here for like years.
Exactly. So it'll be an ongoing conversation.
Yes. But it'll help you feel more prepared for like September through December and stuff.
Yes.
So, eclipse season.
Yes. So we have a Virgo New Moon that is occurring on August 22nd.
Yep.
And for me, the new moon that occurs right before eclipse season, Spirit has showed me that new moon essentially opens the portal for eclipse season. Mm-hmm. So if I see that eclipse season is coming up and the new moon is opening the portal for that eclipse season, to be honest with y'all, this is the tea right here. I am not setting intentions on that new moon. That's the tea, because with new moons, what do? We normally plant our seeds of intention.
Yes, we're manifesting.
Yes, but during eclipse season,
it's you enter at your own risk. That's the vibe. If you want to manifest, if you want to do stuff, a lot of people are like, some people are suited for this. And
who is suited for that?
Like people born under an eclipse.
Even then,
people who are advanced magic practitioners, they say like, if you know how to work with an eclipse energy, go ahead. Most people
if you're
don't.
Wanting to release something in your life,
but that's all full moons.
Well, full moons, yes. Full moons are also times of illumination, right? Because it is
clarity,
the time where the moon is at her fullest light, so we're able to see things, more clearly and have whatever part of our chart illuminated from the full moon. But with eclipse season, I don't know many magical practitioners or witches that would say to manifest during
No, and that's why I said at your own risk. Most people that I've seen, it's like, they're like, if you know what you're doing, go ahead. But like, I wouldn't recommend it, type of vibe.
Yeah.
Although I will still be hosting my full and new moons during this time. But we're not going to be like doing the normal manifestations and things. We were talking about this before the episode as we were like planning what we were going to talk about. And Tylen said a lot of the eclipse is about surrender. And I really, 100%. Really like that. And that's going to be a good, like, instead of planting the seed in this Virgo new moon, maybe being more open to I'm gonna try and listen to all the signs and all of the messages that I'm getting, and listen to the emotions or the physical ailments that might come up or things like that, to surrender to this process. It's the visual that I'm seeing from spirit is like when you're swimming in the ocean and then like you get like caught under a wave and you're like not supposed to like fight in it. You just gotta like hold your breath and kind of wait till it moves you, and then you come back out and you're like, okay, wow, where am I?
Yeah, I mean, that's really what eclipse season is all about, is just being in that flow state consciousness where you are in the frequency of surrender. So whatever is coming up is meant for you, and just fall into it, right? And that's why I love astrology, because it provides the roadmap for you to have some sort of blueprint of where the eclipses are occurring within your own life.
Yes.
So for both of us, these these eclipses are occurring in what we call angular houses, which, if you are a mutable rising sign, you're in the same boat with us. So
Welcome.
that, yes. So I'm talking to the Pisces risings, Virgo risings, Gemini risings, and Sag risings.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you are one of those rising signs, then these eclipses are occurring within your angular houses. So the first house, the house of self; fourth house, house of roots and family dynamics; seventh house of partnerships, relationships; 10th house of career, status, reputation. So it's really providing this energy for something to shift, something to be released. And oftentimes a new cycle starts with that. Like the death and the rebirth is related to eclipse season.
Yeah, we have to let spirit show us what isn't working, what we need to readdress, realign, redo. And often in eclipses, it's not so, I feel like it's like coming out of left field sometimes, you know, like you're like, oh, I've been manifesting, I've been working on this, I've been wanting to do this and work, you know, healing this. And then it's like, psh, do this instead. And you're like, what? And so that's where the surrender comes in, where you have to be like, oh, okay, I will listen. This is what's coming up. Then maybe this is what I need to address. And a lot of the time with spiritual stuff, it in our human brain that loves linear things, spiritual stuff is not very linear to us. So like we only can see a limited amount of stuff as a human, and spirit sees all this higher level stuff for our soul and our journey here. And so you might be like, I'm really focusing on career in this, you know, last part of the year. And spirit might be like throwing you a bunch of stuff to heal with your family. And you're like, stop. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I told you, spirit, I want to work on my career.
But it's the same axis.
Right. But the 4th and the 10th house, the house of family, is right across from the house of career. And they say if you want to change the energy in one house, you can work on the energy of the house right opposite of it. So if I shift my ancestry, if I work on family, home, different things, that will create shifts in my career naturally because they're on the same axis.
Yes.
So it's not always as simple as that, but a lot of the time it just doesn't seem straightforward, and it seems like they're asking us to take a side quest. But if you have that trust and faith and you're able to surrender, then you can come out on top, you know, a lot farther along than maybe if you were like, no, I'm going to keep doing this thing and like avoid that other work that came up. Because everything's connected, you know, we're all connected, and the energy is everywhere all at the same time. So
yeah, if you find yourself in a state of pushing, forcing things, eclipse season is really a time to look at that. Like, where are you creating resistance in your own life?
Yes.
Where are you like pushing against the grain instead of going in a natural direction that feels in alignment?
Yeah. And use that like illumination that you get, like, wow, this is so crazy. Why isn't this working? It's so hard. Take the hands off the wheel. Let me pull over and let me see where am I going? Because this doesn't seem to be working. I'm hitting every single red light, you know? So yeah, you'll pull through easier. It's like, you still have free will. You could still be like, hell no, I want to do it the hard way. Cool. I don't know what value that's gonna give you, but sure.
But typically big things occur during eclipse season for a lot of people. Like, this is the time when people get married, people have babies, people like
break up,
go on these big trips and have like shocking revelations.
Yes.
Like,
even collectively, there's a lot kind of stacking up that's seeming like there's some big stuff that will be happening, right? Like, especially if you're in the US. And like all of the genocides going on in the different areas of the world, like there could be shifts in those things too.
Yeah. So the music festivals are only going to get bigger and louder.
Yes. Now my brain is catching up to what you're saying. If you're on TikTok, that will make sense for you.
The revolution will be televised, baby. Let's go.
I hope so. Okay, so the Virgo New Moon is on August 22nd.
Yep.
This is potentially when that portal begins to open. I see it as like, it's like preparing the space for the eclipse, like doing the...
It opens the doorway.
Yes.
That's how I see it. That's why I don't set intentions on that new moon, even though it's not an eclipse. So
yeah, it's not. So you could.
Yeah.
I think, maybe because we're going to have a lot of surrender during the eclipse season, set light intentions, set loose intentions. Maybe instead of I want to do this, I'm open to this range of things. If it doesn't happen, that's cool. Go
ahead.
I was going to say, like, think about maybe more in those terms of the eclipse. Like, what do maybe your intention isn't, I want to manifest money, but it's like, I want to be open to the healing that is going to be called upon me during this next time. Because the 2 eclipses are in September. So it's like during September, I'm going to be open to whatever is happening, or I want to move through it with ease. Maybe that could be a great intention, as opposed to like, I want this particularly to happen in my life.
That's the kicker, is that openness with eclipse season. Just being open to whatever is in your most optimal alignment. So yeah, the kicker with this is that this new moon is occurring at 0 degrees of Virgo. So at the 0 degree mark, which I practice with whole sign houses, so every single sign of the zodiacal wheel is from 30 to 29 degrees. So at 29 degrees, which we're going to talk about later because we have another eclipse coming up at that 29 degree mark, but that's the fullest energy of that sign. So I love to think about it like if you were making juice, homemade juice, the 0 degree would be the first squeeze. It's pure, it's fresh, it's undiluted. It is the most innocent, pure version of that sign, where the 29 degree is a culmination of everything that is involved with that sign. It's like the juice is full in the cup with that 29 degree mark. But yeah, here we're starting this new moon at 0 degrees. So this is interesting because this means that it is occurring in the first decan of Virgo, which is a decan ruled by the sun, and relates to the 8 of Pentacles in the tarot. So in that card, we see a figure who is working at a bench, and they are working diligently.
And they're like forging their pentacles.
Yes. So this is a decan that relates to having your solar light, that egoic consciousness, attuned to the work that you are doing in the world, because Virgo is a sign that relates to how we are of service.
Yes. Yeah, the archetype of Virgo is like the maiden. And in the metaphorical sense, the maiden is not a mother, and the maiden is not older, so she can be in service to others around her, to her community. Virgo kind of rules over like animals and healing and like sciences and things. Virgo placements love to make things better. There's a perfectionism in there, but they're more about like problem solving, helping, healing, that kind of service, helping others.
Yes. If you're going to set any intention at all, it would probably be most in alignment to set an intention around releasing that perfectionism quality. Releasing the hyper criticizing fixation quality that Virgo can relate to.
Overthinking, overanalyzing.
Yeah, Virgo has that because it desires to have this quality of purity, Virgo catalyzes. We think about Virgo as in its relation to the digestive system, right?
Yes.
What does the digestive system do? It catalyzes. It breaks things down so that it's digestible.
Yeah. So we can get energy, so we can get nutrients, so we can get rid of what doesn't serve us in our bowels, all these pieces.
Yes. But the lower vibrational side of that, or the more dense vibrational side of that, is the quality of over analyzing, over hyper fixating.
And I have Virgo in my 10th house, and I have my Mars in Virgo, so I do everything like a Virgo. How can it be more efficient? How can it be better?
Well, you also will like hyper fixate on like a graphic or something and work on that
for like 7 hours.
And I'm like, love.
But it also like makes me happy to like get in there and just be like, I get to spend all this time just like really Virgo's detail oriented.
It's work that you love, and that's what this first deck in a Virgo is all about. That Eight of Pentacles vibe.
Yeah. So allow yourself to align with the work at hand. Let yourself, I love that you're saying like the ego with the work at hand. Like the work at hand meaning what you're meant to do, your path, whatever your calling is, your purpose in a soul level. Yes. And then the ego is like, how can like my brain here, my sense of pride, my sense of ownership, my sense of self align with that work? How can I merge them to create these beautiful pentacles that want to come out of me?
Exactly. It's like work that you spend hours doing and you don't even realize that it's been hours.
When you're in the flow state.
And that's why we see this figure in a not so great position for their spine, but it's like working at a computer, right? And you love what you're doing so much, you don't even realize your posture is horrible.
And then you get up and your like leg is asleep, and then like your muscles feel sore, and you realize you haven't gone to the bathroom in 3 hours, and you haven't eaten in 6 hours, and then you're like, wait, hold on, but I was in it. I was so nourished by this work.
Nourished is a beautiful word, because Virgo is the season of the harvest, right? When we're celebrating.
That's true. The August to September.
Yeah.
That's so true.
And the goddess of the wheat. That's Virgo in consciousness. And what's so fascinating about this new moon is that it is in a square to Uranus, who is in Gemini. And we're just getting a tiny little window of the experience of Uranus and Gemini.
Yes. So this is one of the big transits that we wanted to talk about that was new in this year.
Yeah.
So Uranus is going to be in Gemini until November 7th of this year. And then it's going to retrograde back into Taurus for quite some time. And then it will come back April 26, 2026, back into Gemini and stay there until May of 2033. So it's a 7-year cycle. It's a longer cycle. So you maybe have noticed it or felt it, the Uranus and Gemini. I definitely did.
Yeah, it's in your 7th house.
Yeah, and I have in my own chart Uranus at 29 degrees. So
oh wow.
Yeah. Not in Gemini though. I have it in Capricorn. Yeah. So a lot of big shift and big change. So maybe you've heard people talk about this. What is the Uranus and Gemini transit bringing us? Because when planets are slow movers, we consider them collective planets, meaning they're going to influence us all for a long period of time. And people born during this time will all be united by having the same placement, right?
Yes. Outer planets are known as generational planets.
Yes.
So that is Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto.
Yes. And so this change, Uranus is the planet of change, and technology, of like sudden like expansions or contractions.
The Great Awakener, shaking things up.
Yes.
Yes.
And then Gemini is this air sign that's about communication. That's about learning and expansion, different cultures and ideas coming together. So we have this paired with this change energy, paired with this awakening change energy. You can kind of see the theme here, right? Like we're seeing so much like truth coming out, sudden changes in our communication, like the CDC gone basically, like can't even communicate like diseases and things. Like there's going to be lots of shifts and things like that where now they're trying, the administration is trying to control like what content is put in museums, what history is true. Literally, this is Uranus and Gemini energy, and it's not to say that it's bad, all Uranus and Gemini is bad, but the people in power are bad. So that's what we're getting more of. Yeah.
Yes. And I've been seeing a lot of people reference the transit of Uranus and Gemini correlating to wartime, and that being a cycle that has occurred throughout centuries of Uranus being in Gemini.
Specifically for the US.
Yes, being a time of ideas being at war with one another.
Shifting,
because Uranus
changing,
is the mind.
Yeah.
And then, Gemini is the mind, and then Uranus is the rebel.
Yes.
And, yes.
Not liking authority, definitely. Yeah. So I think the US has Uranus and Gemini in its own natal chart. Mm-hmm. And so for the US, astrologers have done the homework that I would never do, thank you, God bless you, and looked back at history and been like, every time Uranus has moved into Gemini, we have as a nation gone into war. And so...
And it's because of that, opposing ideologies, opposing mindsets, opposing perceptions of reality.
Yes, and we're seeing that. Our nation is becoming very divided. And the world is becoming very divided in their opinions of us. And there's obviously the president and his way of thinking and his group of people. And then there's everyone else, the normal people, the blue collar workers, the people, the majority really of the US that are disagreeing with all the things, right? We're seeing the sudden change and shift, even with like the Supreme Court being asked to relook at gay marriage equality, right? Like there's a lot of opposing viewpoints that are suddenly coming up, and it seems like, whoa, there's one thing, there's another thing, that's that like quickness. Gemini is already quick because it's an air sign,
a mutable air sign,
and Uranus is this sudden change and movement. So we're going to be seeing a lot of this for the next 7 years, but we will have a little break, right? November 7.
Yes, we're wrapping up something with Uranus moving into Taurus.
Yes. Yeah, because that's the last little bit of that past 7-year cycle that we were just in as a nation.
Yeah. So this is a time where there are so many ways of thinking, ideas, thoughts being put out into the collective. I think you'd said this on one of our first episodes when we were sort of teasing the transit of Uranus and Gemini, where you said something about it feeling like everyone's talking, like chatter everywhere. And what is the truth? Because Gemini is also a sign ruled by Mercury, and this is the side of Mercury that is the trickster. That's like, I'm not going to take things so serious. I'm going to play and create these illusions just for the fun of it.
Or not even, or just being like, I heard this, so I'm just going to repeat it. Or like a game of telephone, you know? Or everyone just sharing their opinions and feeling like they need to speak out and throw their piece of the pie, right? So we're seeing that a lot with like our world leaders, people in the cabinet and stuff, just like RFK. He talks about stuff with no scientific proof or backing, but that's what he believes in, and he is in a position of power, and so he's just speaking whatever comes to mind.
Open lies. So many lies. We would be here all day
if we literally brought, of the lies. Yeah, like it's gonna be pretty heavy. And our president is a Gemini, and I think he also has Mars in Gemini. So this transit is gonna be really lighting I hope the sudden change that we're all hoping for happens to him. The one where his heart stops beating. But we're seeing this too. It's kind of like emboldening him.
Yeah. So the other side of Uranus and Gemini, though, is there is going to be lots of discoveries. Lots of innovations, especially in the realms of technology and communication.
AI.
Yes. The rise of that. And then the question of how do we remain sovereign in our humanity when interacting with
Yes.
this consciousness of AI,
That's what's
because we
really
can't go
important.
back. We
Yeah.
cannot go back as a species. This is just where we're at. So how can we integrate it in a way that is grounded and we're still connected to our sovereignty?
Although there has been, I saw a lawsuit. There was a few people that were suing some of the companies that have been like popularizing the AI, because basically AI, it just like looks through the internet and like pulls from like sources. And so these people are suing because they're basically saying like, you stole my work and you credited, like you benefited from it and you didn't credit me. So the people are saying perhaps this lawsuit might be like a landmark case in kind of really repealing back a lot of the AI, because then more people can come back and be like, oh, I'm suing you for stealing from me. I'm suing you from stealing from me. And then they're going to be like, I can't afford all of these lawsuits, so we're just not going to do AI, which is what I'm kind of hoping, because they did this. I saw this study that like the top two sources that AI pulls from is Reddit and Wikipedia. And those are two websites that are user driven by other humans that choose to just volunteer and donate their time and energy.
Telling lies. Like with the Fantastic Four episode, people thought Joseph Quinn was a water sign sun, right? And we were like, what? Like,
yeah,
like,
don't use AI for astrology. I tried it just to see. It got everything wrong, and I was like, why are there so many blatant mistakes? And it wasn't even little, it was like big stuff, like they were reading signs wrong and stuff like that. I was like, girl, because AI tries to get you the information quickly, so it's like if you ran out of time and you need to do your homework and you're like, I'm just putting something on the paper, like it's not very trustworthy. It's not as profound as people think it is. It's literally just parsing through reflections of humanity through other people's contributions to the internet, and it has a bias based on how it's programmed. The internet has a bias. We know the Google algorithm promotes certain beliefs and things, and this has been proven. Like when Trump first ran against Hillary, if you Google things about Trump, nothing but positive stuff would come up. If you Google things about Hillary, nothing but negative stuff would come up. These corporations are not unbiased, so we really need to stay grounded, like you said, through this next 7-year transit, and really use our eyes and our discernment and our intuition. Fact check in a book, fact check with another article or source. Don't just read the AI overview and take it for what it is. There's going to be so many, and they're trying to remove history, right? They're trying to change history, so we have to really remain rooted in what is true.
And continue to tell these stories. I think that that's the biggest thing
Yes.
with Uranus and Gemini, is that your voice does matter and your stories do matter. And if we don't tell these stories, then they will be lost to time or erased.
Yes.
And oh, go ahead.
Uranus being the great awakener, it's like, speak the truth. Speak your truth. Don't hold it in. Like, this is the time where people should be speaking up for what they believe in, what they want, what's important to them, and adding value to conversations.
And I think what's so beautiful about Uranus and Gemini is that it's going to create the portal for people to have these conversations and then perhaps completely change the way that they're thinking about whatever the topic is.
Yeah. I'm gonna look
because it's not so rigid like with Taurus, or Taurus is a fixed earth sign. So I'm really looking forward to that, just witnessing how many humans shift their perception, their ideas around certain topics through having more access to the information.
Yeah. And just to put it in perspective, I just Googled last time Uranus was in Gemini, 1941 to 1949. We all know what happened there. And if you don't, the Holocaust, World War II. And think about the other things that changed during this time. We had a lot of shift in women's roles because they had to take up production and things here in the US while the men were going off to fight. We had a lot, like we had like NATO and all these other like literally world leaders came together and were like, we are going to form coalitions together to make sure that these things don't happen again. Like we had an ideology that we saw the fall of an empire that was like not a good ideology. And the kind of like dealing with the aftermath of that with all these different countries and people moving to different places. So there was a lot of like, even like brainwashing and propaganda,
I was
hating
gonna say
certain
propaganda.
people, and
Mm-hmm.
right, there was like this rise of
Yeah.
like, we believe this, and like our nation is completely complicit in that too. We rebranded ourselves during that time as like the savior of the world and the strongest nation in the world when we're far from it. But we were able to like propagandize and claim these things.
Mm.
But we were also seeing like Rosie the Riveter and like things like that. Like women were able to shift and change too. Production shifted and changed. We had like a lot of people and communities come together because there was like very minimal like food and things. So we had like new recipes and new ideas. There's like a person on TikTok that makes these like World War II recipes where it's like, if you only have these ingredients in your house, you make, like, this person was like, found this recipe, I'm gonna make a cake using tomato sauce or tomato juice or something, and people are like, oh, that sounds gross, but then it like tasted good. So yeah, lots
Mm.
of weird random different things too in that sense.
Yes. And coming back to this new moon with Uranus being in a square to it, I feel like that's asking us what needs to shift and change in regards to how we are of service, the work that we're doing in the world, that Eight of Pentacles vibe.
Yeah, and we're seeing that like if you are on the side that like wants this shift in our societal norms in our government, like we're going to be thinking a lot about like where's my money being put, where are my morals being placed, like do I want to do this work that supports corporation or do I want to do this work that supports my community, right? Like, so thinking about those types of things.
Yes. And that's Uranus ultimately is a humanitarian vibe. Cares, yes, it is eccentric in its energy. It cares about individuality, but Uranus cares about that ultimately to uplift the collective
and to have like freedom, right? Like I want individuality so I can do what I want to do.
Yes.
And these people are saying they want to do what they want to do, and it's just really racist, and it's they want to oppress other people, and so that's not what the energy of Uranus is. It's like, I want to do what I want to do, I want you to do what you want to do, and I want to create a space where everybody can do that.
Yes, and have more of that sense of freedom within their mentality. We think about how many people get stuck in these cycles of feeling so bogged down, so limited, feeling as if they aren't able to accomplish what their true heart's desires are. Well, that's because they're feeling that state of contraction in their mentality, in their mind. And I feel like Uranus and Gemini is just creating new neural pathways for all of us in the collective to see where we've kept ourselves in these mental cages and break free.
Yeah, a lot of people are waking up and realizing the candidate that they supported was not the best one. Okay, so let's move on
to this Pisces lunar eclipse on September 7th.
Yes, so the eclipse season is just going to be 2. I remember last year it was like 4. It was crazy. So we'll have a lunar eclipse on September 7th in Pisces. So for the science astronomy peoples, the lunar eclipse is basically when you have the sun, then the earth, and then the moon on the other side. And so the moon is in the shadow of the earth, like directly in a straight line. And that's where we get a lunar eclipse.
Yes. And this lunar eclipse is occurring in the second decan of Pisces, a decan ruled by Jupiter. So this is a super lucky, expansive decan. In the tarot, it relates to the 9 of Cups, which is known as the genie card. It's the figure who's just sitting like this and all the cups are in the background, and it's that feeling of being able to make a wish and then trust that whatever you wish for is being delivered to you.
Yes.
And just be in the abundance, be in the receiving mode, because ultimately that is the frequency of Jupiter. It desires to provide us blessings and abundance. But we won't be able to experience that if we don't create the environment in our vessels to receive whatever the blessings and abundance are. And something I love about this lunation too, we're going to talk about an asteroid that's conjunct the moon. But first, I'm going to just tease that. First, I want to talk about how, yes, this lunation is sitting in the decan ruled by Jupiter and is in a trine to Jupiter exalted in Cancer.
Yes.
Jupiter loves to be in Cancer.
Yes.
And this was a transit I was so excited for when we recorded our beginning of the year episode, because I was like, oh my gosh, June can't come any faster.
Yes, so Jupiter moved into Cancer in June this year, and it will continue to stay here until June 30th of 2026.
Yes. Jupiter stays about a year in a sign.
And like Tylen said, it's exalted, which means it's the best energy, the most compatible, the happiest energy for Jupiter to exist in, because Jupiter is the planet of luck and prosperity and expansion, the flow of the universe, and all these things. And think about like a child, like in this Cancer energy. Cancer is the nurture, the mother, safety, comfortability. So like think about a child who has secure attachment, right? Like if your child feels really safe and really comfortable and empowered from you as a parent, when you take them out into the world, like you take them to like daycare for the first time, they're gonna be like, bye, see you later, I'm good, I'm gonna go play with everyone. Versus like if a child is like a little scared and doesn't have secure attachment, and like they're gonna be like, you know, clinging on to their parent's leg, hiding behind them. So if we this principle can be applied to anything, right? If we feel safe to expand, to move out of our comfort zone, to step into the growth, then we'll do it a lot easier and a lot quicker, right? Like if we know that there's a safety net that's going to catch us, then we're willing to make the leap type of energy. So Jupiter's like, yes, feel nurtured, feel comforted, feel safe, and like expand, 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 expand.
100%. Jupiter in Cancer is exactly that, the expansion of safety. And I said this in the beginning episode for this year, my vibe with Jupiter being exalted in Cancer is like this cozy, warm house party. Of course, it's like in a cozy house. There's good food, because that's the Cancerian energy, making sure everyone's well nourished, well fed. And then it's not a rager party. It's a place where everyone is talking about the deeper meaning of life, because Jupiter rules over philosophy. Yeah. So it's like this cozy party, and everyone is getting to know the world in a deeper way, getting to know themselves in a deeper way, and is just nourished by that connection. Yeah. Because ultimately that's what Cancerian medicine loves, is that deep level connection.
Yeah. And we can see this with there's been a trend of the like coffee shop daytime rave parties that a lot of the Gen Z and millennial people have been into, where instead of like going out to a bar and getting drunk, they're actually picking a intention and meeting like during the day and having like coffee or something that's like non-alcoholic, and they're like partying, quote unquote, not in the way that we think about partying, but partying for an intention. So like we're literally seeing like that exact metaphor that you were talking about, like in the real world. Like people are yearning for connection and depth and fun, but in a way that's like going to nurture them. Like they're not going to be hungover the next day. They're not staying out super late and being sleep deprived. Like they're getting to enjoy their time and be more intentional with it.
Yes. And the transit of Jupiter in Cancer, to me, this feels like a beautiful time to dig into some of the ancestral patterns that your soul has and uncover what is there, because Jupiter brings the level of nourishment to look at some of the things that might feel uncomfortable. And Jupiter provides that level of safety. So on a collective level, we're doing our inner child's healing. Yeah. We are doing our ancestral healing. Yeah. We're healing our mother line, our father line with Jupiter in Cancer.
Yeah, we feel like, oh, it's okay for me to say this and open up.
Yes.
Yeah. So with this lunar eclipse, the trine to Jupiter in Cancer is, and you said it's in that like 9 of Cups frequency energy, where if we wish it happened. So think about it more in terms of like, what has been really hard for me to heal or release or call in or shift or understand or illuminate, and can I open up and ask for that? Can I ask for that healing that maybe I've spent years struggling with, right? Can I break these patterns from my upbringing and from my ancestry that maybe I'm not even sure what they all are, but I'm just going to ask for it, right? So this is going to be this lunar eclipse on September 7th is going to be a great time to just let go and like let all that rise to the surface so that you can understand it, or you can just get rid of it, or you can alchemize it, or whatever it is that you need to do.
100%. And what I find so fascinating is that this lunar eclipse is in a conjunction to Nessus in Pisces.
Oh, Jesus.
So Nessus is an asteroid. Mm-hmm. He's known as the asteroid of poison and power. I love to refer people to the Hercules movie, the Blue Centaur in the lake with Meg. That's Nessus. Mm-hmm. And so Nessus is where we get the word narcissist. Yes. Because Nessus is that quality of obsession and power. And so we can work with Nessus in a healthy way in our natal chart to understand what it is that we're obsessed about and how we can then turn that into a passion or a way that we are of service, something productive. But Nessus is also inherently violent and destructive and abusive and in his nature. And again, all of this comes in ranges of frequencies, but that piece I find really interesting. So I'm wondering on a collective level, what are we releasing in terms of those themes? What is coming up?
Literally everything about our society revolves around those themes right now.
With oppression, states of oppression.
Obsession over queer people, obsession over immigrants, obsession over people of color, obsession over wanting to make it all white people. Like, that's what our society, like our government is obsessed with oppressing poor people, making poor people more poor, making rich people more rich.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of spotlight and focus on this, so it'll be interesting to see what comes to light during this particular eclipse.
And here's the truth, y'all. As a collective, we have the power.
Yeah.
We've seen it throughout history. The collective can overturn systems of oppression. But it's like we come together to do it.
Yes.
So we'll see what comes up here.
There's even the obsession with Palestine, right? Yeah. Like, everyone's freaking obsessed. And same thing with Sudan, right? There's a genocide going on there and Congo. And it's like for minerals, for us to be able to have the next new phone. Like, and these people are in the same kind of like their stage 5 hunger, just like Palestine is. And we need to like correct that, right? We need to move away from that. We need like you were saying, healing from the ancestral with this particular lunar eclipse and with like the Jupiter in Cancer. Mm-hmm. It's also like ancestral collectively, right? Like, we see that it's mostly the white countries, especially the US and the UK, that have colonized and oppressed literally all of the other countries in the world. And that is an ancestral wound that we all carry, that we have been a part of in some way, shape, or form. You maybe didn't do it in this lifetime, but you maybe have lineage in your family or in a past life or something. And so it's like we need to also heal and make sure all the people in the world are safe too.
Yes. And that's ultimately what Jupiter in Cancer as a transit is desiring to do, and highlighting all of the things where people don't feel safe. And that, for me as a practitioner who I hold space for people to enter into these deep states of safety, it is devastating to witness how many humans literally do not have access to that quality of safety.
Yes, they don't know how to. They never experienced it.
Yeah. And that's what Jupiter in Cancer ultimately wants to provide for us.
Yeah. So that could be your little North Star, your silver lining, right? We're going through a lot right now, but we do have Jupiter supporting us.
And how can you create safety in your own vessel?
Yeah.
What makes you feel safe? What makes you feel nourished?
Or experiment, figure it out.
Yeah.
If you don't know, that's okay.
And Jupiter loves when we have fun.
Yeah.
Jupiter is the planet of joy and optimism.
Yes. So, and dance and music and like all these things.
Yeah. So the other part of this eclipse is that Obviously, anytime we have a full moon, the sun and the moon are in opposition. It's just different because, like you were sharing earlier, it's happening in a conjunction to the nodal axis. So the sun obviously is in Virgo. And what's interesting is that Mercury is also here. And Mercury is exalted in the sign of Virgo.
Mm-hmm.
So I find that to be really interesting because whatever we're surrendering to, whatever we're releasing, whatever we're shedding, our mind, the mental energy of Hermes being in Virgo is very attuned here. Like this is like a fine tuning, a refining, mental awareness, quick, sharp, efficient.
I like to see it as like we maybe are like focusing on the same problem, like as if it was like a Rubik's Cube or like a multifaceted tool, and then we're just like looking at it from a different angle. Like the fine tuning, the shift can just be like one word change, right? And then it's like, oh, that allows me to get the release that I need by looking at it this way.
Yes. That's what eclipse season is all about. And then we have another eclipse. This is where we're getting really juicy, y'all. I sort of teased this in the beginning. So this one is happening. It's a solar eclipse in Virgo on September 21st. And this is the one that's occurring at 29 degrees.
Yes.
Isn't that interesting? We started with the portal opening at 0 degrees of Virgo, and then here we are. The eclipse cycle is starting to come to a close here at 29 degrees of Virgo.
Yes. And this particular group of eclipses is still kind of like part of this like eclipses happen in like an 18-month kind of cycle.
Yes, because that's how long the nodal axis is.
Yes, and
signs.
That's why people say like don't really manifest during this time, because you might be tying what you want to call in for 18 months. Like it might not be completed for 18 months. And most people want things way faster than a year and a half.
Well, sometimes with manifestation, that is what is required because your consciousness might not be able to hold whatever that thing is.
But like we don't want to like put it there and then it's like, okay, we'll come back in 18 months.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's for me, I don't manifest during eclipse season because of how volatile.
Yeah, it's just a lot of intense energy, like moving around. It's hard to work with. But yeah, so this like eclipse cycle started September of 2024.
Yeah, because we had a Pisces. It was like not a full eclipse, but a partial one.
Yeah. And so we're not starting a new 18-month cycle with this, but we are, you saw the 0 to 29, we're ending that kind of cycle with the Virgo new moon and then the Virgo full moon, but we're still continuing in the grander scheme of the solar and lunar eclipse season. It's still from September 24, and you see like these ones are in September 25, so we still have a couple of months because they're 18-month cycles.
Yes. And what's so interesting, so this one is occurring in the decan ruled by Mercury, the third decan of Virgo. And this in the tarot corresponds to the 10 of Pentacles, which is a card of manifestation.
That's funny.
It's a card of peeling beyond the physical into the realms of the spiritual, and then pulling what you're seeing and dreaming in the realms of the spiritual into the physical. Yeah. That's why it's in that card we see 3 generations. We see the frequency of wealth infused in that card. And so yeah, I just think this piece is so interesting because especially with the Pisces eclipse being in the decan ruled by Jupiter, it almost feels like on a collective level we are releasing some sort of outdated wish that we had for ourselves.
Maybe manifest destiny. Who knows?
Yeah, we're like shedding that perceived, like what we thought was going to bring us that happiness.
Yeah, or working till you're 65 and then retiring for maybe 20 years if you're lucky.
Yeah. So is that really your truest, highest, optimal timeline.
Yeah, like no one wants
Like-
to be a like lifelong worker like that, be a slave to capitalism. Like that's like a crazy wish and dream that they've sold to us, and maybe we're illuminating that truth.
Whew, that's the tea.
Let's drink to
That
that.
is the tea, y'all.
Cheers, y'all. You've seen the meme. I was not put here to work a 9 to 5, 40-hour week. I was here to fucking frolic in the grass.
Yes.
It's
and that's
giving.
what Jupiter in Cancer is reminding us of, like,
Yeah.
those,
Rejoice.
yes, those moments of safety where as a child we're just like spinning around in a circle, but what we're doing on a shamanic level is healing our chakras by
Yeah.
doing that.
We didn't even know.
And we're just in joy.
Yeah, we're just
Yeah.
letting, because Jupiter is this sort of like divine timing frequency of like, I'm just following wherever the wind blows me. It seems like that in your brain, but then like you are connecting to these higher level frequencies, these intuitive things that are putting you in the right place at the right time, and they're bringing you exactly what you need at the moment that you need it. So it's like, it might not feel like, oh, my intention is to go and heal, but you're like, wow, I just went and did whatever I was drawn to and wherever I was being pulled, and I got exactly what I needed, which was that healing.
Yes. Again, that's the whole vibe of eclipse season.
Yeah.
We're just going with wherever it feels in alignment to go in that state of flow, and then let the healing come.
Yeah, we're practicing
Like,
being divine subs.
Yes!
We're like,
Oh!
Daddy Eclipse, you're so intense.
Yeah.
Can you just can you just bring me what I need?
Yeah, like 7th house. Like, come on.
I know, right? Those karmic relationships.
Yes. Okay, so this eclipse is also occurring in an opposition.
Yes.
In an opposition to Neptune in Aries and Saturn, who had just moved back into Pisces.
Yes. So those were two other big transits that we wanted to cover.
Yes.
So Neptune, like Tylen mentioned earlier, is an outer planet. So it stays in a sign for like 20 years. Is that what you said? 20 years? Yeah.
Yeah.
Longer than 20 years.
I think it's around that. I think Pluto's around
less
20
than 20
years,
years.
and
Less than
Neptune's
20
like
years.
14 years.
14. Yeah, I'm like looking at
Yeah.
the numbers. I'm like, my math is garbage.
Yes.
From 2020, technically 2024, but it'll stay strong in there from 2026 to 2039. So yeah, that's like 13 years.
Because Neptune's going to retrograde back.
Yes.
So do we want to give them the dates
Yes.
for Saturn being in Pisces, completing, and then going back into Aries?
Let's first do the Neptune.
Yeah.
So Neptune moved into Aries March 30th of 2025. So we were already kind of in it for a little bit. It's going to stay there till October 22nd of 2025, and then it's going to retrograde back into Pisces. And then in January 26th of 2026, it will move back into Aries, and it will stay there till March of 2039. And then Saturn moved into Aries September 1st of 2025, and then it's going to retrograde. Well, it moved before that, but that seems wrong. September 1st of 2025. It's not even September. This is
September 1st is when
2024.
is when Aries is going back into Pisces.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
retrograding back.
Okay, so I had my things wrong. So it's here already in Aries September 1st until February 13. It'll retrograde into Pisces. I know I have February 13. It retrogrades.
Well, it's gonna be moving back into Pisces in September.
Okay, so there. And then it will.
Let me see if I get it.
Yeah, I don't want to fuck these dates up. Okay.
Yeah, September.
Yes, you're right. So it was here from May 24, 2025 till September 1st, and then it will retrograde back into Pisces, and then February 13th, it'll move
February 13th
of 2026. It will move back into Aries, and it will stay there until April 12th, 2028.
Yes. So for those of you who have Saturn in Aries, you got a little taste of your Saturn return.
And those who have Saturn in Pisces, you mostly finished it, and now you're going to get a last little bit in there. Like me.
Yeah. It's not a little bit. It'll be for a
That's
good
why I'm
while.
like,
So
a little bit. I'm hyping myself up. I'm like, this is a little bit.
I know.
This is a little
Well,
bit.
as a Pisces rising, I'm like, oh, Saturn. Like, can you just like, I like
Chill.
I already live with you on my ascendant. Like, do you have to come back into my first house? Do you have to like? Can you just move into my second house?
Yeah.
Like, that'll be chill. Like, I'm so down for that. Like,
yeah.
Like, I've been loving Saturn in my second house.
Tyler's
Like,
crazy and loves Saturn. Nobody else. I feel like everyone's like, fuck Saturn. I'm losing my shit. And
Saturn
Tyler's like, I love it.
Okay?
You are the divine sub.
Saturn
You're like,
is-
I love it.
No, well, Saturn actually has a harder time being a sub because Saturn, I feel like, wants the
No, you're the divine sub
Yeah.
to Saturn.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. He gets to be the dom. I know what he likes. He's no sub.
Yeah, you're like, wait, no.
No.
I do love Saturn, y'all. Saturn is misunderstood.
Yeah. Gets a bad rap because they call it a malefic planet, which...
But I'm also like, Saturn, I feel like I learned so many lessons with you being in my first house. I'm like, do you have to come back?
Yeah.
For that long? And you're like, come on, my Saturn return? That's a lot worse.
I literally just
You're
had it. I'm like, in my fourth house?
Yeah.
Fuck my life. Okay, so let's talk about the Saturn and Aries because that's a shorter transit, right? Saturn only takes a couple years to move through a sign.
3 years around, yeah.
So September 1st is coming up, right? So whatever you've been feeling with the Saturn and Aries energy, right? Remember, Aries is the first of the zodiacs. It is like impulsive, wants to get things going, wants to start, which is kind of a decent energy to pair with Saturn.
No, Saturn is in fall in Aries.
Okay, hear me out. I think that a lot of people, they kind of like push away the big lessons that they need from Saturn. But with Aries, it's kind of like this energy of like, get it going, do it. So it gives people a little bit of like this like fire under their butt.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I actually really, as an astrologer, I love when I see planets in fall or in detriment.
Yeah.
Because they have an extra grit about them.
Yes.
It's like if you think about moving through a challenge or a difficulty, you gain an extra resiliency about you.
It's already hard, so like you're used to it.
And I love that like baddie energy. I mean, speaking as someone with like Mars in Cancer, Venus in Aries, you know, like...
Yeah. Like I think there's good things for everything, right?
But Saturn is considered to be in fall in Aries because Saturn exalts in the sign of Libra.
But also Saturn in Pisces is not a vibey energy either.
Like, because Pisces is the entire fucking ocean.
Yeah.
And Saturn is like, how do you create a boundary?
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I have Saturn in Pisces and maybe Saturn in Aries will be better for me. Okay, so...
Well, because, you'll be out of your Saturn return, so that's a biased thing.
No, I mean like natally.
Yeah, that's what I mean, biased. But
Okay,
Saturn in Aries Saturn is not necessarily happy in Aries because... I love to think about with Saturn and Libra, it's like there is this quality of the Lord of Time being exalted in a Venus-ruled sign, which indicates that
Saturn likes to take its time.
Meant to spend time doing things that bring beauty, right? Libra is a sign of beauty, harmony, love, peace, and longevity in our relationship dynamics, where Saturn and Aries, the opposite, is asking you to take responsibility over your own sense of sovereignty.
Yeah, it's kind of like you're getting the instructions as a kid, and then you hear like half the instructions, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna go do it. And Saturn's like, you haven't even heard all of the instructions. Like, you're just, okay, great. I have 2 of the items that I need. I'm gonna go run off and do it. That's like Saturn and Aries energy. And with the Libra, it's like Venusian placements like to take time. Like, I have a lot of friends that are like Venusian ruled, and they're like, I like to take the streets instead of the freeway. Like, I want to take the scenic route
with other people to get the best outcome.
And when you're going slow, you can like prepare. You can get what you need. You can course correct.
Well, air signs aren't always super slow, but I see what you're saying around like they want to compromise. They want to work with other people to find the best outcome. Whereas Aries,
okay, I'm gonna go do it.
Gate.
Yeah.
Like,
so you might have been feeling that kind of energy of like, I want to start, I want to do it, but I'm like, I'm impulsive, and like I'm maybe getting like stubbing toe energy. Like, I just tried to do it and I stubbed my toe. And then September 1st, it's moving back into Pisces. And the way I see Saturn in Pisces is like, yeah, like this big amount of water that's trying to be put in this box, and it just keeps like falling out of the box. It's like trying to contain water in like a structure. It's like it keeps like moving out and like taking other shapes.
Yes. Because it is oceanic consciousness, and how can you wrap a Saturnian ring around that?
Yeah.
But really, Saturn in Pisces to me feels like creating a structure and a discipline towards connecting to the mystical, magical part of life.
That's how you move through it.
The divination
Your
systems, faith, trust in the divine plan.
Boundaries are really important for
Creating
people with Saturn. I'm speaking as a natal things I learned in my Saturn return. Boundaries.
Let's do a whole other episode on that, on the Saturn return.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So we're going to get back into that Saturn and Pisces energy from September 1st to February 13th. So just get ready for that. We need to really trust our boundaries. We need to try and not be this like emotional savior, like, oh, I'll hurt again so they can go and do what they need to do. Really trusting in your faith, in your divine energies and your divine connections and your practice, whatever that looks like, using that as a guide for where should I go, what boundaries should I do, what things should I be working on, etc., etc. Yeah, that one's a intense transit, and then April 12th we'll be back in that intense Aries energy again.
Which I'm ready for. Bring it on, Saturn and Aries.
That's what I'm saying. I said it was better just because I'm like,
it's my bias too.
Yeah, like I have an Aries moon. I'm like, let's go.
I am excited to see how the souls who have Saturn and Aries go through their Saturn return and like step more into their own sovereignty.
Yeah, I feel like I keep hearing like wait and see. Like don't just do it, wait, see, then take action.
And have trust. I feel like Aries is a sign that is so connected to the instinct and the power of instinct.
Yes.
And then Saturn says create a structure to have that trust in your instinct.
Yeah. Like I keep seeing like a person training to do like fighting, and Saturn is like their coach, and they're like the coach is like, it's like a kung fu or something, you know, and the coach is like, don't just hit them, like wait, observe your opponent, pick your moves wisely, don't just waste all your energy.
It's inertia, taking the movement that they're going towards you and using it against them.
Yes, instead of wasting your energy.
That's
going to be the lesson for y'all in a metaphorical sense.
Yes.
Maybe learn kung fu, it could help you.
And also take your passions seriously if you have Saturn and Aries. Like that's what this little window of time probably taught y'all, is like, what is my passion and how am I constructing my life where I'm actually putting time into my passion? Because the more you spend time on something, the more you cultivate mastery over it.
Yeah.
And that's what Saturn and Aries is asking you.
Yeah. And Saturn is conjunct Neptune in Aries. And this is not a common occurrence. They don't travel really close together because Neptune takes like 13, 14 years in a sign. So this is a really big piece too. I feel like good luck for the people who are Saturn and Aries going through their Saturn return, whether it's your first, second, or third or whatever. Like this Neptune here is going to change the energy than what you normally feel.
Because Saturn is the frequency of boundaries and limitation, and Neptune is the energy of dissolving those boundaries, permeating consciousness.
Yes.
Like the way I think about Neptune is like this hazy mystical fog, because it's connected to the quality of oneness. So it's this energy that you can see, but if you try to grasp it, you're not going to be able to, because it's dispersing its energy everywhere. And when I was meditating with the Aries Neptune transit before it happened, Spirit was showing me that same warrior consciousness of the discipline, the focus, it's going to be permeating throughout the collective, where as individuals, we are understanding how to embody our own level of warrior consciousness, especially when there's so much misinformation out there.
Yes, we're going to need to trust ourselves and our instincts and our intuition. And I've also seen people describe this as like, make your own rules, do it your own way. Because Saturn does want us to have rules and structures, but maybe because Neptune is dissolving the lies or the falsities that we've been told or fed or propagandized by so much of our society. It's saying like, embolden yourself, make your own choices. And we're also seeing this with our collective, right? Like, freaking our president is making his own rules, just deciding he wants to change things, just emboldening himself,
kicking people out of the country, right?
Yeah, like
that
things,
he's handpicking
things that have never been done ever in our history.
Yeah.
Even he's just like, I feel like doing this.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, I keep hearing there's a Metallica song, Fight Fire with Fire. I keep hearing that lyric over and over, and it's like, yeah, if you're gonna make your own rules, then I'm gonna make my own rules. Like, why do I just need to, you know, abide by your arbitrary rules that have a particular agenda that maybe I don't even align with?
Yes. And what's so interesting with Neptune and Pisces, I feel like so many people were putting their connection to faith and spirituality in organized religions or structures. And I feel like Neptune in Aries is going to be an invitation for people to create their own connection to spirituality on an individual level.
I keep seeing our energies like all the way out here, like being influenced and connected, and it's like coming back into ourselves.
Yes.
And then we're saying like, what do I want to intentionally connect to and choose, and not just like being like taught that we should have our energy all the way out here, which is very Saturn and Pisces, having our energy all the way out here and we're like pulling it back in.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So that's the eclipses.
And we close out the eclipse cycle with an Aries full moon on October 6th. This is occurring in the second decan of Aries, a decan ruled by the sun, related to the Three of Wands in the tarot. And what's so interesting is that this full moon is going to be in a conjunction to Ceres, Demeter, the mother goddess. So it feels like a really loving way to close out probably the intensity that is going to be occurring during this eclipse season.
But with the Aries energy, I feel like it's like a mom who's like, you're crying on her lap, but then she's like, yeah, well, you know, like that wasn't maybe the best decision, sweetie.
Because Aries is all about independence, right?
Yeah, it's like, I wanted you to trust yourself and go through it, but now you're learning, you know? Like, I'm going to support you through your mistakes and through your wins, but, like, I'm not going to, like, lie to you, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it type of energy.
Yes.
It's like, now you know. That. You broke your arm after jumping off the roof. Now you get it, right?
Yeah.
You know? Like...
Yeah. That is totally the vibe of what's happening here. And yeah, the moon is occurring in a square to Jupiter in Cancer.
Some tension here.
So yeah, it's sort of like giving how does our connection to our sovereignty and individuality and the nurturance that with Ceres, the Demeter, the mother goddess, conjunct the moon, how does that play in with our connections, right? Because we were talking about how Jupiter is nourished by that connection and the feeling of safety. And so maybe there's some things that are going to be illuminated in the collective around some of these topics, like maybe situations, people, things that you once felt that energy of safety or nurturance around. Maybe there's something that's going to be illuminated to shift that, because that's what full moons are all about. And this is a closing of an eclipse cycle.
And like you pulled this for Los Angeles, and like the moon is in the 11th house of community and humanity. And then Jupiter is in the second house of values.
Yeah, that doesn't really matter as much, the house system, for when I pull up the charts. I do pull it up for Los Angeles and the exact timing for when it hits.
So I don't know. I just feel like if you're local, that's like, it's kind of similar to what you were saying, you know, it's like being individual, but collectively creating space for everyone to be individual. I feel like that's like a common theme that we're kind of going through as a society. Yes. I don't know. I feel like it tracks.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for those of you listening, I would invite you especially to look at where Jupiter is transiting for you in your own natal chart. So what house holds Cancer for you? Because that area of life is asking for expansion, abundance, growth. Like,
yeah.
And if you're aware of that, then again, you open the portal for your soul to be the vessel to receive that abundance. Yeah. So I've been feeling it as Jupiter's been transiting through my 5th house. I felt for a really long time I was in this like creative funk, and I trusted that. I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna force myself to write or to create. I'm just gonna ride this out. And I was like heavy into my reading phase, just like reading. But now I've been back to writing and creating, and yeah, lots of ideas streaming in, and it feels like such a blessing to have that part of my chart activated. So please look at where Jupiter is transiting for you, and then all these other planets that we discussed today. You know, Uranus moving into Gemini, also where is Taurus, because you're going to get a last little wrap up there. Your Aries and your Pisces houses, because
your Virgo houses,
exactly where the eclipses are occurring for you. This is the key for making it tangible for you and your experience, giving you the insight on these shifts as they're occurring. So yeah, let us know. We'd love to know where these transits are occurring for you, what's coming up with these transits. Spill the tea.
And if you're like, I want to know, you can always book readings with us, and we can like literally go through your chart and see how these things are impacting you specifically and break it down for you specifically. Because like Tylen said in the beginning, it's not that we're like predicting like good or bad things are going to happen to you. It's that we're kind of removing a lot of the confusion or the lack of clarity or the power that these things might hold over you, because we now know, right? Like if we can anticipate, like in war, if we can anticipate an enemy coming towards us, then we can act accordingly and potentially come out victorious. But if we're caught off guard or by surprise, then we might not be able to win that battle, right? So so much energy, Aries energy is coming through in my metaphors. But yeah, it's sort of like, I know this is coming. So how can I support myself? So how can I surrender to it? So how can I embrace and embody where I'm meant to go and not feel afraid when that call comes?
So cheers to eclipse season.
I don't want to cheers to eclipse season.
We will survive.
No.
It's coming, baby, whether you like it or not. Like, let's go.
You're crazy. Cheers to embracing all
the flow,
the change. Yeah. Because I feel like if you cheers to eclipse, for me, it feels like if I cheers to eclipse, I'm like, fuck me up, like free open shots over here. And it's like, I don't want to say fuck me up. I just want to say, I'm going to get through this.
Angular houses, so
whatever, bro. I'm gonna fight it with my Aries energy. I'm gonna fight it.
All right. Well, this has been a fun one. Let us know if y'all enjoyed episodes like this, where we're just like spilling the tea on the transits and giving a little sprinkles of our own insight into what's occurring for us too. Because I actually really enjoyed this episode. This was fun. Yeah. So let us know if you enjoyed it too.
Yay! And we'll see you next time.
All right.
For the Pete Davidson one will come out after this, I suppose.
Oh yeah.
Watch me get red.
Yeah.
Because I think he's a little bit attractive. He's not like super attractive, but
what? You didn't say that on the podcast.
Yes, I did.
You? Okay.
You were like, you think he's hot, don't you? And I was like turning red. Remember how I said like if you have tattoos?
Oh yeah.
I think you're attractive.
Yeah.
Good tattoos. No shitty tattoos in this bitch.
Yeah.
Okay. Not my Virgo placement. Not icky tattoos.
No. Well, he's literally getting tattoos removed.
Yeah.
So.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Like, he doesn't need to be attractive for me.
Yeah.
He's a father now. I don't. All right.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
We weird note to end on.
Yeah, fathers. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Bye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Celestial Tea Podcast.
If you enjoyed our hot takes and breakdowns, please leave us a 5-star review wherever you stream, share with your friends and fam, and follow us on all the socials.
Let us know if there is a pop culture icon or a phenomenon that you want us to look at next. Tune in next week for another piping hot cup of celestial tea. Cute.